Hello everyone and welcome back. Since Tomb of Sargeras has been out for a few weeks and I've gotten a chance to do every boss in there, what I can say is that as a tank I'm very much enjoying this raid. Now Tomb of Sargeras is very different than Nighthold was. For one is just the fact that Tomb of Sargeras is more focused on physical damage, which means that the gap between all the tanks is going to be lessened. So if you walk into Tomb of Sargeras as a tanking demon hunter or a warrior or a paladin, monk, whatever class you're playing, you're going to feel a lot less of a disparity between other classes than we did in Nighthold. In Nighthold, the clear winners were druids and monks, and it was by a long shot. In Tomb of Sargeras, everybody's a lot closer. I'm enjoying the type of physical damage that's coming in. It allows for a different type of gameplay where we prepare before we walk into a raid for all of that mitigation and also have to react on the fly, so it's the best of both worlds. What I do think they did really well with Tomb of Sargeras is that if you walk into Tomb of Sargeras with Nighthold gear, it is very balanced, so there's nothing that's completely easy. A big thing that Tomb of Sargeras has over the other raids that we've seen in Legion, that's to say Emerald Nightmare, Nighthold, and Trial of Valor, is the fact that there are a lot more environmental effects and a lot more things that even tanks have to deal with that are not just swap at a certain amount of stacks or when you get a certain debuff. Nighthold was very much about very high moments of burst, whether they were physical or magic, and about rotating your cooldowns in order to survive that burst. When Tomb of Sargeras has a feel that's a lot more based on mechanics and execute those mechanics perfectly. For Tomb of Sargeras, it's a lot more difficult than just face the boss away from the raid and taunt off at 4 stacks. Take the fight Fallen Avatar for example, where if you push phase 2 too soon, that could be the result of your tank missing a few ticks of the laser and getting Avatar too much energy. Or Harjatan, where you can face the boss away from the raid, but at 100 energy you actually have to rotate him back and split damage. Or a boss like Mistress, where you have all these environmental effects that you have to pull people to, hide behind. There is no one area that guarantees the tornadoes are going to come from that area. Every boss in Tomb of Sargeras is a little bit different, and I'm very much enjoying the additional effects of the environment. One other thing that I want to point about Tomb of Sargeras is the fact that it does have gear checks built in, and each one of these is a different gear check. In Tomb of Sargeras we have fights like Desolate Host meant to gear check the healers, and Kill Jaden meant to gear check the tanks. Now again, complete hats off to Blizzard for this raid. It feels like a very uniform raid where you can walk in with a goal in mind and execute that, especially as a tank. We no longer need to carry one set for this boss and another set for another boss because they're so magic heavy. We can walk in with a certain build and carry that build throughout the raid. So that's something I also really do enjoy. Now in terms of specific boss tips for all of you tanks out there, stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to be releasing survival guides for the tanks out there for this raid. So stay tuned, and as always, good luck tanking out there.